Promises, 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 by Laura Bell, www.trcb.me/BellBusinessReport. We've all experienced folks who can't seem to understand the importance of keeping their word. If they fail to make an appointed date, they don't seem to realize why someone may be upset because of the wasted time waiting. Somehow, our society has promulgated this as being an accepted societal faux pas. Being late to a dinner with a spouse, acquaintance or friend is one thing. It can be boiled down to simply being one more irritation to deal with in our daily hectic lives. The problem I am addressing deals with this ongoing nonsense which happens way too frequently in the business world. Why individuals should care is very simple. This promise breaking affects many in the business world. When it comes to small business and encounters for potential work with entrepreneurs, it is a massive problem and costs hours of time and many more in lost revenue. I am referring to a doctrine entitled promissory estoppel. The public policy is the forerunner of the problems revolving around breach of contract. If someone makes a promise for potential business and it is reasonable, and you forfeit other business and spend money on supplies for an upcoming contract, the person making the promise is responsible for your loss. Your article could be in this broadcast. Visit trcb.com to find out how. A search from Lexicon, labeled source is LII Legal Information Institute, the doctrine allowing recovery on a promise made without consideration when the reliance on the promises was reasonable, and promise relied on to his or her detriment. Your words can be dangerous. While running my own public relation agency in the 80s, I crossed paths with several folks who loved to postulate about business they envisioned down the road. And, of course, when this plan came together they would be in touch and sign me on as their marketing agent. With the advent of e-commerce and increased use of the internet for business, this problem increased about 1,000%. Those discussing potential contract work think nothing of discussing plans, assigning work, and asking for time from workers, when they don't even have the bankroll to keep their own personal lives out of hot water, let alone a business deal. If I had been able to recover from all these alleged businessmen and women, I would be sitting pretty. Promises such as "I will need you to write a weekly column starting next month at a certain rate" throws the curveball into anyone's laps. This so-called promise A, gives false hope to the receiver, B, gives an incentive for the listener to cut down on marketing his or her skills, C, may also create an incentive for the listener to spend hours of research for the upcoming work. All of this boils down to time and money down the tubes. Additionally, one has to consider the opportunity cost. Any time a self-employed entrepreneur spends on someone's alleged work takes away from time he/she could be spending on work with a higher rate of pay. So the loss is not just the time spent, but the time that could have been spent on other profitable work projects. This fantasizing about upcoming work is so common on the internet, sadly, it has become accepted practice. If there was a landmark case slapping one of these liars in court, those involved in such practices would think twice about their business practices in the future. The problem in adjudicating any of these perps is that the majority of the offenders have very shallow pockets, which makes them awful candidates for a lawsuit. However, there will be cases where these alleged business people may earn future profits. This means that a judgment could be rendered against their future earnings. The next time you promise future work to a potential contractor, be very careful with the words you chose, lest they come back to haunt you. Laura Bell is freelance writer and owner of www.bellbusinessreport.com. The Bell Business Report offers common sense business advice and how-to info for running your business. It takes the everyday headlines apart, dealing with business news, and shows you how to put that information to work for you. Music by Kevin MacLeod.